Because I don't think I had Jim when we lived there at Barry's. Might have. I don't remember. Well, I kind of think that Pop brought them to school one year. Anyway, Hattie McLeod started the school, and then she got sick, and Vera Menzel had to take over, and she finished out the year. And then the next year, we moved to Silver Cliff, where Fritz Earps lives now, and the kids went to school, and that was 1931, because John was born that December. And Pop started in building on, he couldn't sell the lumber. He couldn't sell lumber nowhere. And the Thai market wasn't too good either. But he moved the mill up at the south end here somewhere. I think on the Joe Snyder place was the first set. Anyway, I never moved out there. I just stayed in Silver Cliff. And they'd go back and forth. They hired cooks out there, and they had a terrible time. And half of the men came in, and I had to cook for them. While we was living in Silver Cliff. And Pop was having that house built, not on his dry ranch. He still wanted to ranch and get into the cattle business. And that had been his dream all along.
When did he homestead that?
No, he homesteaded that before, I know it was before he was old enough, because he did that before he went to the National Guard. And then when he came back, he went to the land office to see about it, and they asked him why he hadn't done as much any more than he had. Now, all he'd done there was just to build that little old house and fence a little bit around it, and hadn't put any crops out there at all. And he said, well, he'd been in the army all this time and hadn't had a chance to do any of that. And he got away with it. That was the truth. He'd been. And then he started building on that. And John was just a year old when we moved out there on the dry ranch. And he got a bunch of cattle on shares and this way and that way, and went in debt to the production credit deal and bought tractors again and everything. And a few years had real good crops out there, and potatoes did real good. But then the blight got into the potatoes, and they didn't do good out there anymore. And he'd raised enough corn fodder and oats and things like that, just left it for hay to feed the cattle that he had. And then 38, I guess it must have been 37 when they came out here and just rented the place for a year. And then he bought it in 38. And the bangs hit the cattle, and they just lost their calves one right after the other. And we had pretty tough sledding then the first few years we was out here. And